You're watching Oilers Nation Everyday with Tyler Yaremchuk. Your one-stop shop for all things Oilers.
Today, this is officially a Cleveland Guardians podcast. Let's get into it with the lead. I'll explain. Welcome into Oilers Nation Everyday, live from the Sports Closet studio. Check them out online at sportscloset.ca. 3 locations in the Edmonton area as well. Tyler and Liam with you. Why is today a Cleveland Guardians podcast? Because our boy got called up to the major leagues. Big shout out to Edmontonian and Oilers Nation citizen,
yes,
Eric Sabrowski, on getting called up from the Columbus Clippers to the Cleveland Guardians in time for their game that is on right now. We have it on right out there in the office. I'm trying to figure out how I can get it up on here. I'm going to do that at some point. But here's what we're hoping for today, because I want to see him pitch. He hasn't pitched in the minors since the 22nd of August. He's had 6 days off. That arm's good. Cleveland's not calling him up for no reason, Liam.
Because he's got some skill.
He does. One of his last outings, he went 2 innings. Aaron, you said it was the 10th and 11th, correct?
Yes, sir.
And he struck out 6 of the 7 batters that he faced in AAA. So
6 of the 7.
Yeah.
Clutch.
That'll help.
He's clutch. And he's up with the Cleveland Guardians right now for their day game. It's a massive day game as well against the Kansas City Royals. 2 teams tied for the top spot in their division. So we're going to keep tabs on that. And if he ends up going into the game, we might stop the show because I want to watch that. So
I thought you were saying it's a Cleveland Guardians show because this is the second time I've watched the Guardians this season.
When was the other time you watched?
I cannot believe you. That is so Tyler.
Second time this year you've watched the Guardians.
When was the first time?
Guardians of the Galaxy?
No. We went to a baseball game together in Miami.
Oh, yeah. We
played the Guardians.
You know how unforgettable.
Unbelievable.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. Marlins Guardians in the middle of June was a little bit unremarkable.
It was
for
a
me.
great game.
At that absolute warehouse dump of a stadium. Yeah.
It was a terrible stadium.
It was actually, you can call it a stadium. You cannot call that a ballpark, though.
Yeah, it's a stadium, not a ballpark. That's a good way to put it. Although, you know, I think I'm not much of a baseball fan. I love the Riverhawks, but
You used to be a baseball.
I used to be when the Jays were good. I'm very much seek success only. Baseball parks is supposed to have like some kind of very unique thing about them, right? Like the Blue Jays have the hockey goal horn, and there's a hotel.
The Brewers have a slide.
Brewers have a slide.
Yeah.
Red Sox the wall.
Houston has the train.
Yeah.
The Yankees have a Mickey Mouse ballpark with Mickey Mouse dimensions. Yeah, all those kind of things.
And the Marlins have that great view of the Miami skyline.
Yeah.
That was actually cool, that big window at the end. But when it goes dark, you can't see anything out of it. So, classic Miami.
Yeah, it's honestly
also very overpriced.
Very overpriced. Although
the tickets were cheap.
We paid $12 and Frank bought us tickets for like $12, and we sat like 6th row on the first base side. And like parking was more expensive than our tickets.
Yes, it was,
which was funny. Anyways, what are we rooting for in today's Guardians Royals game? Sadly, and I'm coming at this very selfishly, and if Eric hears this, because I think he watches this show sometimes. I know he's an Oilers Nation radio guy as well. But if Eric hears this, he might be like, dude, don't say that. I'm hoping Cleveland's down by like 9 by the 3rd inning or by the 4th inning.
They give him a go?
And that they give him a go. Or Cleveland can be up by a lot. But right now they're down 3-1 to the Royals. Tanner Beebe's given up a couple of home runs. He's already at, I think, like 60-some pitches through 3 innings. So I don't know what the situation is, who's available for the Cleveland Guardians, if Eric's even available out of the bullpen. But I will be watching Guardians games like a hawk going forward as long as Eric Sabrowski is on the roster.
Yeah, it's good.
Shout out to Eric. What a summer it's been. Gets to watch his Oilers go to Game 7 of the Cup Final. Gets to come on this show, Oilers Nation Everyday, massive. Gets to hopefully make his Major League Baseball debut right away.
Yeah, all 3 very similar.
Andrew is in. Guys, you named the show The Future of Dry, and you're talking baseball. So
we had to. It's a big moment.
It's a big moment.
So a couple of people have put this in the chat. Have you noticed the rap battle talk in there?
Rap battle talk in the chat.
So
please explain.
Craig Fisher put, Liam, how will you be responding to the rap battle from Lieutenant Eric on his smash hit, The Nielsen Show?
Did they throw a diss our way?
They might have.
Aaron, if you can find it, we'll play it.
Liam about to be straight bussing on LT.
You're going to be busting on LT.
I'm very confused. I did see
Me too.
Lieutenant Eric a few weeks ago. We don't actually know each other that well, but I respect the game.
You met him once.
We've met like 2 or 3 times.
Yeah.
Loves Liverpool. I don't.
When I used to work with him at the radio station, because he would be the first person I'd see when I'd come in the building, and the producer room at 1260 just had this tiny little window.
Yeah.
And I'd always go and just press my face right up against the glass, and I'd just wait until he looked. Sometimes it'd be like 4 minutes, and he wouldn't look, and I'd be like pressing my face up against the glass. I miss working with those guys. Anyways, if they dissed us in apparently he wants a rap battle against Liam, or did he already release a rap?
I don't know. I don't get up early enough to listen to that shit.
Yeah, okay. I'll have to ghost write with you. Anyways, hope everyone in the chat is doing well. What's up, Doug? Wait, hello. Squishies for breakfast. A&W still selling whistle dogs where I am. That's baseball related, right? Absolutely. That is 100% baseball related. What was his name? Andrew, who was upset that we're talking baseball in the chat. We do have hockey that we'll get to a little bit today. Yes. Short for Giant off-season question, continuing our Pacific Division previews with our friend JD Young from Locked On Sharks. He's been on the show before, and it was a pretty exciting summer for the San Jose Sharks. And when we had JD on to talk San Jose Sharks throughout the year, it always came from a point of, and we talked about this with him, we can relate to Sharks fans and what they're going through right now, right? And I mean, maybe not relate in the sense that they had a couple of years there with Thornton and Marlowe and those guys where, God damn, they were so close to winning Stanley Cups. They went to a cup final. They went to a bunch of conference finals. They had a bunch of heartbreaking losses, but then they went nosedive right into a big rebuild. They have some nasty contracts they're still on the hook for and still, quite frankly, trying to get out of with the amount of retained money slots they have. Guys like Couture and Vlasic aging not that gracefully. They end up trading Tomas Hertl as well, trade Timo Meier. They went into a full-on rebuild, but now they're kind of at the point, I'll say it's 2010 for them in terms, if you want to put it into Oilers years. They just got their first overall pick in Macklin Celebrini. That's our Taylor Hall. He's joining a young core that is starting to be established in San Jose. So we'll talk to JD about what the Sharks got cooking up there a little bit in San Jose. They also just made a big trade, getting Yaroslav Askarov, and they paid. Listen, the goalie market is usually not that great. They paid a pretty penny to get Yaroslav Askarov. They're making a big bet there.
Yeah, what was it? First round pick, Magnus Krona. Sad to see him go. And another prospect, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The guy they got from
the pick from the
Hertl trade. Yeah. Enstrom, David Enstrom.
Yeah, well, 2 of those picks are from the Vegas 2 of those
assets.
Assets. So
I don't hate that, actually.
Big ticket, but you're not wasting your own assets, I guess you can call them, in a way. Like what you've gained, you've been able to spend on more. Couldn't get the StreamYard up here, but we got this.
Yeah, I can't. So the platform I use to get our monitor up, and so I can like see the chat a little bit easier. I can still follow along on YouTube, but it's delayed. And then eventually see our guest. I can't figure that out. It's not working today. But I did get a stream for the KC Cleveland game. So it's what is it? Top of the 4th right now. Tanner Beebe's at 66 pitches with 1 out. He's not going deeper than the 5th. I'm telling you that right now. And they're down 3-1. So someone's going to have to be in this game. I just don't know who's available. What did Andrew say? I always make it to listen to you guys, but being in Ottawa listening live is hard sometimes. You're not at 2 p.m. local time. I always watch on YouTube. Very happy you guys continue through. Yeah, I'm happy we did too. 3 shows a week all summer.
Yeah.
Except for on holidays. We've taken the holidays
next week.
Because it's a holiday Monday. And just a reminder, and how about this? On Friday, we're going to be live bright and early, or at least I'll be live because you're gone on holidays for the weekend. You're taking a bit of a long weekend from the Millwoods Golf Course. Private club conditions for under $100. One of the best pro shops in the city. And it's the host of the 7th annual Oilers Nation Open. It is coming up this Friday. We are less than 48 hours away. I am beyond excited. I'm going to be on a team with my guy, Ryan, I believe his buddy, Charles, and Pat Puff. I had to bring in a ringer. That was the thing. Good? Oh, Pat's a single digi.
Whoa.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to need him at the Sherwood Ford one, too.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a little bit as well. But anyway, so it's us and Pat, and then it's Jay Chalmers, Cody Chambers, and a 4th person that I'm not allowed to say their name. It's a ringer. It's a ringer.
No,
I'm not allowed to say his name because it's supposed to be a big surprise.
Do you know who it is?
I know who it is.
Well, tell him.
I can't.
They made us dress up like Bobby and Ken. You can say
decent
what you
point.
want.
Anyways, we're doing another version of our match from last year. So you, Charles, and Ryan shot 12 under last year.
It took until the 17th hole for them to beat us.
Yeah.
We did all right.
And then we ended up going, I think we parred that last par 5, and then we parred the last par 4, and they beat us by 3. Right? But anyways, we were 12 under. Yeah. I love you, and you've put in work on your golf game. Going from you to Pat is a bit of an upgrade.
We'll see.
You did drain that clutch putt.
I was gonna say I had 2 huge putts that day,
and you had that, and you did the solo birdie on that par 3 when you used your mulligan, which was huge.
Yeah.
So you were valuable. That maybe I shouldn't say that. Maybe I should put a little bit more. Maybe I'll put a little bit more respect on your name. That's fair.
Unbelievable.
I know. I'm sorry.
Can't believe that.
Very excited for the Oilers.
No. First you forget the Cleveland game, and then you do this.
I hate it when you guys fight.
Yeah, no, that's okay.
It's only Wednesday too. I'm glad I'm going away this weekend. I need a reset.
It's Wednesday, Dave. But yeah, you're going to LA this weekend.
I'm going to LA. I leave Friday. Come back on Monday. I'm excited for a trip. This will be my 3rd visit down to LA. I'm kind of going to Anaheim, I guess, but we're going to an Angels Mariners game. Going to go to the US versus Canada rugby game. And I'm going with my dad and my uncle, and they are big Star Wars fans. So we're going to go to Disneyland and go to
see Star Wars World.
Star Wars stuff. Gotta buy those tickets still.
Universal Studios?
No,
you can hit that up?
Probably not.
How are you getting the tickets to Disneyland? Personal line of credit? Try to get a straight cash loan? It is insanely expensive.
Well, it's funny you mentioned that. We have our super chat up and running now. You can donate directly.
Yeah, please. Oh, actually, that would be a really fun way to do the super chat. Would to be like every week, each of us gets to be like, "Hey, I really want like this."
Yeah.
So super chat, like just total sugar daddy.
Yeah,
super chat is our sugar daddy.
That'd be sick. So,
Clothes stay on. Socks can come off.
Yeah.
Everything else stays on. Stop, Christopher Palmer. Stop in Tijuana to get the kidney out to pay for Disney.
Yeah, it's not cheap.
Might have to. It is ridiculous. Anyways, we'll talk some hockey later on, but our first segment is what's trending for our friends at the Millwoods Golf Course and the Oilers Nation Open. See a bunch of people in the chat talking about how they're gonna be out there. Christopher Palmer. I know Captain Felton's gonna be there too. I think Mistaken Mexican said he's coming up. I would imagine he's coming up with McMullet from Calgary.
I would assume so. It should be great. McMullet was there last year.
He was. I remember him pulling up with the vehicle. Yes. Anyways, what's trending? Mistaken Mexican did say, why does ONE have to conflict with the big Lincoln Park announcement? What's Lincoln Park announcing? I don't know.
Interesting.
Right. I don't know what that is.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, it's what's trending. So we are covering a few things that are not hockey to begin the show. We did talk about Eric Sabrowski getting called up. We're keeping tabs on that. When I looked at what's trending, Hawk Tua is still #1 trending on Twitter.
I muted her.
I think I'm at that point too. It was funny, and it's one of those things. It was funny for like 12 hours. And then it got so big that like the least funny people started making jokes about it. And it's like, well.
I just think she's very annoying. She started making those memes
that
like didn't even make sense. Like, I don't think you quite know what a meme is. She also brings her friend around with her, which is fine because she was in the video.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't really know. She doesn't do anything. So it's just very boring.
She's done a great job staying in the limelight.
Yeah,
I know.
Milking her 15
Not my
minutes.
limelight.
The 50 minutes of fame is getting milked hard.
Yeah.
So
I would say it's been drained.
I'm over that. I'm over that 100%. I might go the mute the words on Twitter thing. That's smart.
It's not even trending for me.
Oh, see, that's a win for you. Here's one thing that is hockey related. Stephen Ellis put out his his NHL prospect rankings. You can read the full rankings at dailyfaceoff.com. Have you read it yet?
I was just about to pull it up.
Okay, wait. What's your guess on where the Oilers rank?
Overall, 26th.
You are optimistic, my friend. Stephen Ellis had the Edmonton Oilers ranked 29th on his prospect rankings. Tough. Well, here's what Stephen Ellis had to say. Their only notable prospects are these 3: Matthew Savoy, Bo Akey, and Sam O'Reilly. He added,
I would strongly disagree with Stephen.
Okay, let me read his whole thing. The Oilers are built to win now. They're moving on from the future to make it work. I did love the acquisitions of Matthew Savoy and Ruby Jarventi, as well as moving up to take Sam O'Reilly at the 2024 draft. If there's anything this system has, it's size. Savoy isn't included, but Raf Lavoie, Max Berezkin, Ruby Jarventi give the team some beef potential in the bottom six, while Max Warner could be a smaller replacement for Vincent Desharnais one day. But beyond Savoy and maybe O'Reilly, this Oilers pipeline doesn't have much going for it. In contrast to the early 2010s, Oilers fans won't complain.
That I'm also not complaining. I would like to put that out there. No love for our boy Ollie Rodrigue. He was great last season.
Yeah, but he's not exactly what is he now, 23?
He was a second-round pick.
That's fair.
He's 24, just turned 24.
Okay.
He had a 9-6. He had a 916 save percentage last season. His first full season in the American League. And he had 19 wins, 37 games. Where's his goals against here? 273, which was lower than the year before. I'm not saying this guy is going to be a stud, but those numbers are very similar to what Stuart Skinner did, and Skinner did them on a much better team. Rodrigue is way better than people are giving him credit for. So I don't think Steven's wrong in the sense of like the Oilers they're definitely like a bottom 10, bottom 5 prospect pool. But they got some players that could come up and play one day.
But the thing is, everybody has players who can come up and play one day. You're looking at guys with top-tier potential, and the Oilers lack that severely.
100%, but that's not the argument. There was just no mention of Rodrigue, and I think there should have been.
So what did you say he had save percentage-wise? 917?
917.
So he finished 10th in the AHL in save percentage last year. Hunter Shepard, Devin Levi, Clay Stevenson, Dustin Wolf, Joel Blomqvist, Eric Portillo, Mikey DiPietro, Jack Campbell, and Chris Dreger ranked.
And I think Dustin Wolf is the second coming of Curtis Joseph or someone like that. Martin Brodeur, according to...
Yeah, but Liam, he had a 922 last year, and he is 23 or
he's really good.
Younger, yeah.
But Rodrigue, he's still a good prospect too.
He's fine.
He is fine.
Yeah.
But he's finished top 10 in the American League.
Sure.
That's good.
But that is fair. One team that I think is hilarious to see ranked lower than the Edmonton Oilers is the Ottawa Senators coming in at 30th, because they're not even like the other two teams below the Oilers. Tampa Bay is 32. Okay, Tampa Bay's got their rings. They could give less of a shit about how their prospect pool looks. Boston's ranked 31st. They had some good years. Who cares? Ottawa being 30 is hilarious because they have not won recently. They have not been all that good recently. I know there was the one random year where they went on a bit of a run, but have not had sustained success at any point over the last 10 years. Are not good right now or even close to a lock to be the playoffs, and their pipeline stinks. What are they doing?
Who does he have as their best prospect?
His notables that he listed were Mads Sogard, Carter Yakimchuk, and Zach Ostapchuk. A lot of Chucks, which I like. Yakimchuk. Why is StreamYard not working for me?
Interesting.
This is ridiculous.
Yeah, Boston, Ottawa, yeah. Who's the other? Who's another low one that shouldn't be that low? Yeah, you kind of look through, and I mean the Islanders. You'd like to probably see them a little higher if you're an Islanders fan. You're kind of in limbo. Pittsburgh, 24. A lot of these teams at the bottom are in kind of win now mode, aren't they? Although New Jersey last year was 6th and are now 21st. That's an interesting one. Number 1. Any guesses?
Is it the team we're talking about in our segment today?
It is. Top 3. San Jose, Montreal, Anaheim.
Montreal's interesting.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. I still stand by my statement. I think nothing is dead last in the East this year.
You think they'll be worse than Columbus?
Yes. Although losing Patrick Laine 2 months to where did he go? Went to Montreal, right?
Yep.
That might dampen my my thoughts on it, but I don't think he's too bad. I think they'll be fine. That's not ideal.
I'm never going to get this monitor thing up. It's just a Chrome thing. It's not working in Chrome for me.
Put on Safari.
I just did, and it said it doesn't support the technology.
Oh, that's not
maybe I need to go in.
Oh, you can.
Oh, must have something with my cookies because I can sign in now on if I go incognito.
Don't look at me like that.
All right. Oh no, now everything's switching. Tyler, did you prep today? No, I was watching Cleveland Guardians, Kansas City Royals. I had no time to prep. Anyways, I figured it out. I'm coming in the studio right now. So we're good to roll. Tanner Beebe's at 77 pitches in the 5th inning. Yank him. Get him out of here. He can't pitch anymore. We're going to get to our guy, JD Young, in a little bit. That was what's trending for our friends at the Mill Woods Golf Course. We're going to talk more about the prospect pool stuff with our boy, JD, as well. Look at that. I got the monitor up. I can see the chat. We're ready to go. Now we're ready to really start this show. What's going on in the YouTube chat? Joseph has a comment about Leon Draisaitl. So, Liam, I think that's all we need to get into our Sherwood Ford Giant question of the show. It's brought to you by our friends at Sherwood Ford the Giant. Very excited to have them on board. I think they'll be kicking, the nation truck will be kicking around at the golf tournament. Tired of dealership hassles? Sherwood Ford in Sherwood Park is all about convenience and upfront pricing with their Giant Deal program. Get clear, no-nonsense pricing on new and used Fords online with all incentives included. Plus, enjoy the ease of mobile service, free pickup and delivery, same-day or next-day service appointments. They got it all at Sherwood Ford the Giant. Also, we are putting in a team for the Sherwood Ford Golf Tournament.
Yes, we are.
It is
very exciting.
Me, Liam, and Aaron, and we need a fourth. So we'll figure out that. Pat can't. Pat's going to Vegas that day.
Unbelievable.
Although,
Team guy, really?
in true commitment to the team, he said, my flight leaves at 5:30. When's tee off? So he was ready to do both, but it won't work. So anyways, we'll have to figure that out. And also, I want to see a little commitment from you guys. It's on September 8th. I want proof of at least 2 range sessions each.
Yep.
All right.
I can do that.
I'm not going to do it.
Yeah, you're there's a range right there.
I have a busy week.
Doing what?
The Crusaders camp starts on Tuesday.
Sounds good. Golf camp
Right
starts
next to
now.
Broadmoor.
I ain't
There's a
golfing.
driving range.
I'll be ready to go.
You might get cut.
It's also
Cut me.
it's also the first Sunday of football, so we're gonna be able to watch some football in the carts.
We are. That'll the whole. Oh, we can do a squad ride touchdown parlay.
Oh,
That's fun. All right. Here's what's going on with the Sherwood Ford Giant question. Frank Saravalli was on Oilers Now with Bob Stauffer the other day, and he was talking about Leon Draisaitl's extension. And he had something that was a little bit concerning. He said, again, on Bob's show, shout out to Oilers Now, quote, "It's unfair to categorize it as hitting a snag. On a money basis, AAV, I think these two sides are a little further apart than I envisioned. We also remember there were reports from Frank and other insiders saying, hey, this might come in lower than we think AAV-wise, which is why I thought maybe 13.5 or lower. It's a little bit concerning, but if there is a panic button somewhere, like what Aaron was doing last year when the Oilers were off to their terrible start, if there's a panic button somewhere, I'm not even looking for it. I'm not even asking anyone in the room, hey, where's the panic button in case we need it? I'm not there yet.
Okay.
But you read that from Frank and you kind of go like, oh boy, is this maybe going to be a bit more of a negotiation than you think it will be? So your Sherwood Ford Giant question is this. What is your quote, I'm concerned date with the Draisaitl negotiations?
June 30th, 2025.
So at no point in next regular season will you sit there and go, well, that's a little worrying that they haven't gotten him signed yet.
Well, what does concerned mean? Like, do you mean like when I'm like at my tipping point of being like, okay, things got to happen?
Where some doubt creeps into your mind of, is this going to get done?
I guess when maybe the trade deadline then. I don't know. I'm not really that worried about it.
So you think even if they were to
Pasternak signed mid-season last year.
So did William Nylander.
There's been a ton of guys like that. I'm not that concerned about it at all, to be honest. I think there's going to be negotiations, of course. Like Draisaitl deserves to get that number as high as he can get it, if that's what he wants. So if that's what it is, that's what it is. But I'm not overly worried by those comments.
I'll say start of regular season.
I knew you were going to say that.
Because I put it in the prep sheet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I put it in the prep sheet. One of us puts their stuff in the prep sheet.
I got it all up here.
Straight off the dome. That's why you're going to do that rap battle. Listen, if it's not, just because, again, all summer we've been told no reason to be worried. This is going to get done. The two sides are close together. Don't worry.
Yep.
If we get to the start, if we get all the way through training camp and the preseason and the regular season starting and it's not there, then I'm going to go, what went wrong? All summer, we were told it's going to happen. His agent comes out and says, yeah, we're confident. And Draisaitl's like, yeah, it's all good. I want to be an Oiler. And the Oilers are like, worried? We ain't never been worried for a second. But then if we get to the regular season and it's like, whoa, you guys had 6 weeks to get this done from when he returned to Edmonton for camp and you didn't get it done. What gives? And does it add more pressure onto the results of next season? I think absolutely.
Maybe. I mean, yeah, we should put it like that. It kind of makes sense, and some worry should creep in, I suppose. But the negotiations at the end of the day, like, it's not supposed to be like easy breezy, and I guess sometimes it can be. But Draisaitl has also been away for a long time. Like, he's not even met Stan Bowman yet. I'm sure when they get in person together, things will be completely fine.
Fair.
I'm not overly concerned, I'd say. I think when worry creeps in is after the Four Nations thing. Right around that time frame of Valentine's Day is where I'll start to, the things online, I think will start to get to me at that point if it's not signed yet.
Yeah, I think that's fair too. If they start the season without a deal, I'm not even hitting the panic button at that point. But at that point, I'd be looking around going, okay, where is it? Just in case I need it for later. Where's it at?
Yeah, you got to keep it close by.
You do.
You never know with this team.
Let us know in the YouTube chat what you think of the Draisaitl extension. Naeem is in, says can't risk losing him for nothing, and we can get more value trading him to a team with an extension.
You're a madman.
Classic Naeem.
Classic Naeem in the chat.
Never, ever, ever consider that. I'd rather get nothing for him than trade him. Like, no.
Max says he's signed by Monday's show. Book it, save it. If they announce this on the Monday of a long weekend while I'm gone on my golf trip and you're in Anaheim, I'm going to be pissed.
Yeah. Someone else will have to do the show.
I'm up. I'll do it.
Just Aaron by himself in his backyard. All right. We got a guest waiting to join us, so let's not leave him waiting. Let's get out to the Star Mechanical guest line, Edmonton's #1 plumbing and heating company. You can find out more about them online by visiting them at starmechanical.ca. They've been doing it in the Edmonton area for north of 20 years, and they aren't going anywhere. Just like Leon Draisaitl. 8 more years of Star Mechanical.
Yes.
And then we'll do another 8 after that. Shout out to Star Mechanical, and shout out to our friend JD Young from Locked On Sharks for swinging by. JD, how's your summer been?
It's been a great summer in San Jose land. The vibes right now are off the charts when it comes to these Sharks in the future.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that. What are like some big summer things to do in San Jose? What goes on in that area?
San Jose, I mean, you have kind of everything, right? You've got San Francisco, which is going to be the coldest summer you've ever had. You can go up to wine country in Napa. If you can go to the beach, there's plenty of stuff to do. That's the great thing about California. Whatever you want to do, you can do it. So, yeah.
All right. Well, let's start with the biggest question when it comes to the San Jose Sharks offseason. How excited are you to see Cody Ceci in the lineup?
Of course, right? Cody Ceci, the most important member of the offseason for the Sharks. So, I think Cody Ceci is going to be an interesting piece to San Jose. Add some veteran leadership, even though they already have a 1,000 old guys on the blue line. But I'm interested to see what Mike Grier flips him for at the trade deadline, because Cody Ceci is the type of defender every GM overvalues and loves that type of player. So I would not rush out to buy my Cody Ceci Sharks jersey this season.
Fair enough. Okay, now I'll get to the actual real first question I had written down. But I compared what the Sharks are going into to kind of like what the Oilers went into in 2010. They had a couple of rough seasons. They had started to accumulate some prospects. Then they got Taylor Hall, and it was like, here we go. Finally, this team's going to be exciting again. Is it fair to, I guess, categorize as the Sharks as, while they might not be miles better in the standings next year, it's going to be miles better in terms of enjoyment watching them?
Yeah, 100%, right? You have Macklin Celebrini, Will Smith, both these guys making their NHL debuts this season. Will Smith, the 4th overall pick in the 2023 draft. Macklin Celebrini, of course, the prize of the 2024 draft. The reason why you lost all those games this season, and the Sharks should be more entertaining just for that. You also pair that with William Eklund, who had a great season last year. And there's a lot of excitement around the Sharks just because you can kind of see, the foundation's been poured. You can kind of start to see the framing going up on this rebuild. And I think Mike Grier's done a really good job in a very short amount of time to kind of take this team that was very lost and had no direction, capital C, commit to the rebuild. And then now I think we're starting to kind of see the blossoms of the flowers of this rebuild. So that's 2 analogies, a house built and a garden all in one. So
yeah, I think the most surprising signing of the offseason for a variety of ways was Tyler Toffoli signing in San Jose. Just considering where he's at his point in his career and signing a 4-year deal. Like, I guess, firstly, what did you make of the signing? And secondly, were you also surprised they managed to get Toffoli?
Yeah, I was surprised that they managed to get Toffoli because I thought kind of the same thing, right? He's a guy who's done a lot of stuff. He's bounced around a lot of teams and, is kind of trying to recapture that glory of winning a cup since, his early days as a LA King. But for the Sharks, he's the perfect type of signing, right? The man's a walking 25 to 30 goals every year. It doesn't matter the situation. He's bounced around a bunch of places, and all he does is score goals. And the way he scores goals is off the rush. And if you look at what Macklin Celebrini does in college, especially in college, his ability to create off the rush and drive off the rush, those two are the perfect pairing together. And I think a guy like Toffoli, who even said in his kind of introductory press conference, he wanted to kind of give back the same way a lot of his LA Kings teammates did to him as he was kind of making it his way into the league. He wanted to kind of turn around and do that for the Sharks team, especially with, again, a Macklin Celebrini and a Will Smith who are both 18 to 19 years old. Like, this is, I think Toffoli is going to be the perfect Shark for them. Was it maybe a year too long of a contract, maybe a little bit expensive? Yes, but when you're the Sharks and you have all the cap room in the world right now, like, that stuff doesn't matter. It's more about just kind of raising the floor right now of being a competent team and not getting kind of blown out 10-1 or 10-2 every night. So I think Toffoli is going to do a lot of that and just, again, be a really kind of somebody that a guy like Celebrini can lean on.
Yeah, I do think, again, to draw parallels to the Oilers rebuild, or I shouldn't even say draw parallels, for teams who want to use the Oilers as an example of what not to do when you're rebuilding. Yeah. I think going out and getting a guy like Toffoli and making those the veteran ads you do, whereas the Oilers were like Ben Eager, Eric Belanger, and it was like Darcy Hordichuk. And it's like, okay, these guys are scrubs. They're not going to help you win. And that culture of losing just continued. You go get Toffoli and he crosses both, right? Good veteran guy. He's won. He's been in a bunch of different locker rooms, and he's still going to be a quality winger to potentially put with Macklin Celebrini, which is obviously where I want to go next. What are your expectations for Celebrini? Do you think he can have I'll call it a Bedard-esque first season where, hey, the production is really there right from the jump? Or do you think, some of the comparisons we heard about him at the draft is that maybe he's a bit more of like a two-way guy? Do you think that could lead to a slower development, slower entrance into the league?
Maybe not as he's not gonna be as flashy as Connor Bedard, right? What we saw Connor Bedard do, like, he has that elite shot and quickness with his release, and that's not so. I mean, Celebrini is a great shot. Like, Celebrini is just a kind of more of a high. He can do anything, and we saw especially Bedard in the defensive zone get lost at times, and there's plenty of highlights or lowlights of kind of Bedard in his own zone. I don't think we'll see that much out of Celebrini with that. He's still going to have his ups and downs as any 18-year-old kid does. But I think for what we saw him doing in the NCAA, being the youngest guy last year, but being a strong presence in his own defensive zone and then creating that transition, I think Celebrini, I don't expect to see maybe the same point production as Bedard, but I think you'll probably see a better two-way game out of Celebrini compared to Bedard. So, but yeah, I think for Celebrini, that 55, 60 points mark is probably a reasonable expectation for him. I mean, this team still is probably going to struggle to score goals. They were the second worst offense in the NHL last year. And of course they had the minus 150 goal differential last year, which is one of the worst goal differentials in modern NHL history. But I think what Celebrini is going to do is, again, just kind of helping to raise that floor of being a competent team night in and night out. And I think that, like I said, that 55, 60 points kind of feels really fair for him.
You got anything else?
No,
I have an Askarov one.
Yeah, I was going to say that's kind of what I was thinking of. But
yeah, I mean, just how big of a move is that? They obviously gave up a lot to get him, but having a piece that is trending towards or looking like he could be a Vezina caliber goalie for a decade plus, like, how big of a check mark and how big of a victory is that for Mike Greer?
It's pretty good, if you ask me. I know it's a lot to give up, right? Giving up a first round pick, giving an unprotected 2025 Vegas pick. We don't know with Vegas, right? What that team has very much this could be where the floor drops out, or they could just make another run because it's Vegas and they'll do something crazy like they always do. Yes, that kind of stinks giving that up, but the Sharks weren't going to get a goalie of that caliber with that pick, right? And the Sharks have struggled to draft and develop goalies. It's been, even if you kind of look back, like Martin Jones, right? Drafted and developed by the Kings, they traded for him via the Boston Bruins. In the past couple of years, they've wandered the desert looking for some sort of goaltending help. But getting a guy like Askarov, who I think really also fits in with the timeline, right? You think about Celebrini and Smith and some of these other guys. Next 2 to 3 years, they're going to be kind of going through it, and by then you kind of expect them to really start to kind of hit the ground running and hit their peak. And Askarov is going to fit right in with that timeline where everybody's going to be kind of coming together at the right time. So that was the biggest question in the Sharks pipeline was, can you find a goalie? They've really, like I said, really have struggled to draft and develop goalies, and I think kind of taking advantage of a situation. I think Mike Greer did the right thing, and a guy like David Edstrom, who is probably going to be the 4C long-term for the Sharks. Like, you can find 4C guys like on the street, no problem. So I no problem with giving up what they gave up because I think, again, you have to kind of make sure everybody starts to fit together. And even if you drafted a first-round goalie next year, if there was a guy who kind of pops up into that range, is that guy going to fit the timeline, especially with how long these goalies take to develop? Even these top-tier ones, a guy like Jesper Wallstedt, barely starting to kind of crack the lineup, and it's been, he was in the 2021 draft. I think for Askarov, again, it just everything kind of really comes together, and I think this is the bow on what has been an outstanding offseason Mike Greer in the Sharks.
There is one more question. We have to ask it because Chad is literally screaming at us. What can
Ty Emberson?
Yes, what can you tell us about Ty Emberson? Probably shouldn't have asked the last question.
Ty Emberson, he's a very good defenseman. The Sharks claimed him off of waivers last year from the New York Rangers. So you wonder if the tinfoil hat guy in me says maybe Barclay Goodrow claim was kind of a make good for the Emberson claim. I know the Rangers really, really want to keep Emberson in their system, but great. Like I said, great defensive defenseman. You're not going to see a lot of offense out of him, but he's a really good stay-at-home defenseman. So if you partner him with a maybe a little bit more offensive prone guy on the left side, I think Emberson is going to work well there. Did struggle with some injuries last year, got shut down because he took a skate, I think it was to the calf or something like that, if I recall correctly, and needed stitches, and they basically shut him down at the end of the season. So health is a little bit of an issue here, but I think he's going to really fit in to be a nice cheap contract and be able to kind of just stay at home and play defense for you. So I think he'll be a really nice fit for the Oilers.
Cheap and good defensively. I'd sign me up for that every day.
That's all you're asking for at this point. Yeah,
exactly. JD, appreciate your time, man. Thanks for popping on, and we'll chat with you throughout the season.
All right. Thanks, guys.
There you go. JD Young. You can find him on Twitter at myfryhole, FRY. He's the host of Locked On Sharks. He's your source for everything San Jose Sharks. They're in the division. You want to keep an eye on them. They're coming. What Charles Barkley say that one time? Them young boys, they coming.
Just followed him.
JD?
Yeah.
That's
more
nice.
followers than me.
Well, get your bread up.
I don't even know what that means.
Star Mechanical Guestline, Edmonton's #1 plumbing and heating company. I know what you're all thinking in the chat. What's going on in the Cleveland Guardians game? 3-2 Royals over the Guardians. Tanner Beebe is still pitching in the 6th inning. So I don't know if we'll get to see our boy pitch today. I'm starting to get a little nervous. It's a tight ball game. Who's warming up? Tim Herron, a lefty. That's not Eric Sabrowski.
Did you see him, though? Nah. Could have been anyone.
Look, bottom of the screen. His name's on. That's
Wow.
cool. All right. That's all.
Do you think he's there?
Lance.
Is he left-handed?
Yeah.
Yeah. Sick.
Lance, I'm not thinking that.
Come on, Lance.
Someone said his name is a Futurama reference. I've never seen Futurama. Have you?
Oh, every night.
No.
Swear to God. Futurama, The Simpsons, and Bob's Burgers are on rotation.
Matt Groening is a god.
Yeah.
He created The Simpsons and Futurama.
Really?
They're on rotation at our house.
Are you watching them just on cable or on a streaming service?
Yeah, Disney.
Okay.
Disney.
Would I like it?
Yes.
Oh, it's fine.
It's fine.
I mean, I don't love it.
Okay.
I've been.
It's not raunchy enough for you, but it's good. It's good animated comedy.
Bob's Burgers is the best of the three.
I like Bob's Burgers. Yeah, Bob's Burgers is legit.
Well, they did just bring out a new season of Futurama. But you know what they brought on a new season of yesterday? Only Murderers in the Building.
Oh, is it good?
Oh, the new season started yesterday. So they do weekly episodes.
Okay.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be a good one this year. Great cast.
Season 1 and 2 good?
Oh, yeah. You never seen it?
No, would I like it?
Yeah, I think you would. It's very interesting. Like, so obviously it's about, so basically these 3 people make a podcast about murder and then somehow it keeps extending 4 seasons.
Oh.
And they get the craziest cast. Like Paul Rudd is in it.
I saw Selena Gomez.
Meryl Streep. Is that her name?
Yep.
Yep. Tons of people. Zach Galifianakis is in a new season.
White hair. Come on.
Steve Martin. And the Edmonton guy.
Nathan Fillion?
No, the other guy. What's his name?
Michael J. Fox?
No, let me just look up the name of him. God damn it. Martin Short.
Oh.
Oh,
He's an Edmonton guy?
Hamilton,
Ontario.
I thought he was from Edmonton. From Hamilton. Canadian boy.
There was someone famous like that who was like just born in Edmonton and they were gone. I forget who it is.
I can't remember.
I feel like it's Michael J. Fox.
Maybe someone can let us know.
Fielder.
Michael J. Fox is from Edmonton.
Yeah. Minister, I feel like a lot of jokes in Futurama will go over Tyler's head. What's up with the assumption that I'm stupid? How about that? Rick and Morty's one I've never gotten into.
That's one raunchy that you would love.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Morty.
The people like Only Murderers in the Building? I think so.
Simpsons is the best.
I watched that new Michigan Netflix documentary about Connor Stallions yesterday.
Oh, yeah?
Fascinating.
Is it good? What's it on?
Netflix.
Okay. I'm a Family Guy guy. I stand Family Guy. I could watch Family Guy any day of the week. That's the best one for me.
Yeah, it is a funny show.
Tyler's too fast. If anything went over his head, he'd catch up. See, there you go. There's a compliment for me, finally, from the YouTube chat. Jesus Christ.
JD made an interesting comment.
Trading Cody Ceci? Or something else?
Okay, you triggered my memory on that. But the one thing I wanted to ask was, he said he thinks Macklin Celebrini can get 55 to 60 points.
I think so.
I think that would be insane. I think he's
Bedard was like a point per game, bro.
He's not Bedard.
Nuge did that in his first year.
No, he didn't. Let me have a look.
If he wouldn't have gotten hurt.
Nuge was
what do you do?
52, 62. Okay, yeah, Nuge was good.
First overall picks, even the ones that aren't elite out of the gate, they'll get you 55, 60 points.
Okay.
You got to remember, he's going to play power play 1 the whole year.
Slavkovsky.
What do you get?
10 points.
In how many games?
40.
Yeah, but he stunk.
He said even not the Stars would get you that many.
Yeah, but not the stinky ones.
Okay, Lafreniere, 56 games, 21 points.
Okay, prorate that. That's like 30-ish.
Okay, Jack Hughes. What do you think Jack Hughes got?
Oh, probably a lot.
21 in 61.
Okay. Maybe you're a bit more
Nico
right.
Nico Hisha got 15, Matthews, McDavid. Obviously, their own little thing. I don't think McKinnon was even that great, but to be fair to McKinnon, 63 points. He was on an awful team.
I think he can do 55.
I think he'll get 50.
Who's coming in? Who's coming in? They're yanking
50.
BB.
I think
he's playing with Eklund, Toffoli. Like there is skill.
Yeah,
there.
he's got skill, which is going to be helpful for him. But getting 60 points on a team that
You also have to
leading goal scorer last year.
Machine Gun Yanmark makes a good point. Scoring's up. Like this is a bit of a different era from when some of those guys debuted.
Lafreniere, Jack Hughes, 2021. Jack Hughes was rookie.
Scoring's
season.
up since then.
Yeah, but it's not. It's only 3.
Everyone's
years
over
ago.
COVID now.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. All right.
I think he can get 50. If I set the over under at 53.5, you taking the under?
Yes.
I'll take the over. What do you want to bet?
Nothing. You have to do a show upside down.
I thought we could bet like a case of beer or something.
Sure, we'll do that.
Okay. No, other hand.
Oh.
Shake it like a man.
God, you have long arms.
You're all in on the bet. You're all witnessing this.
What did I say? 50.
53 and a half. 53
Do you
and
know
a
what
half.
also happens in all these scenarios?
What?
He'll get banged up and they'll shut him down.
He has to be on pace for more than 53 and a half.
No, that's not what we shook on.
Okay. Shout out to JD for popping on, talking a little San Jose Sharks today. That was fun. What do we want to get to next year? We got a player grade. Yeah, okay, let's do our player grade. It's for our friends at Sherwood Power Sports and Marine. Summer's not over. Don't let big calendar tell you when you can stop enjoying the outdoors. Get out on the water. Sherwood Power Sports and Marine, your home for everything water, everything fishing, or if you're more of a road warrior, you can get on an e-bike or a scooter or a quad or a 4x4. All of it. Shout out to our friends at Sherwood Power Sports and Marine, right in the heart of Sherwood Park. J-Rock, quote, shake it like a man, as Tyler says at the urinal next to you. Hilarious. Our player grade today is none other than Stuart Skinner, who Liam believes is just moments away from being Ollie Rodriguez's backup, but we'll grade him on what he did last year. Also, I can't wait to see what picture you used for Stuart Skinner's player card.
It was, yeah, go ahead.
Okay, let us
It's
see.
not in there, Liam.
What?
I made my own version.
Oh, no, I got it. I forgot to click continue.
All right.
It's in
Well,
there
while
now.
you do that, I will let everyone know what I thought of his regular season. It
It's in
got
there
off to a bad start. No one is denying that. But yesterday, in writing a piece for Oilersnation.com, which is going to drop Friday morning while everyone's having fun at the golf tournament, I took a look at how his numbers at 5v5 and on the PK compared to each other, and it's actually pretty interesting. So in the first month of the season, the Oilers were 72.7% on the PK as a team. That ranked them 27th in the NHL. Their penalty kill early on in the season was god-awful, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm just going to make sure the lefty that they put in wasn't
Yeah,
Merrick.
it was horrendous.
Heron? Okay. Their PK was terrible. Stuart Skinner's PK numbers were, as you could guess, also terrible. So from the start of the season until December 1st, Stuart Skinner at 5v5 had an 898 save percentage. So he was like a tick below league average at 5v5. On the PK, he had an 805 save percentage. From December 1st until the end of the regular season, his 5v5 save percentage jumped up to 913. That's really good. But 898 to 913, okay, 15 points. That's a solid improvement. Like, he did get better. I'm not totally absolving him of the PK struggles, because a lot of times your PK, your goalie has to be your best penalty killer, and he wasn't. But his PK save percentage in those two, using those two timeframes as samples, jumped from 805 to 875. The PK got better. He got better on the PK, and his number shot up. And I do think if the Oilers' penalty kill would have been a hair better in front of him, or just flat out better, like it ended up being, because they, from December 1st to the end of the year, they had the 10th best penalty kill in the NHL.
Yes.
If that penalty kill would have been better early in the season, I don't think Skinner's start to the year would have been as bad. So he had a rough start. A lot of it, I think, was because of the PK in front of him. He ended up bouncing back and having a good season. Here are some numbers I like about Stuart Skinner. There were only 31 goalies in the NHL who appeared in 41 or more games last season, so half or more of their team's games. Skinner ranked 17th in save percentage out of those 31. That's solid. But the other number I love bringing up with him, he was third in games started with a save percentage above 900. Only Bobrovsky and Hellebuck had more. What did we, and I've said this line over and over again, what did we clamor for years with Edmonton goaltending?
Average.
Give us consistently 900, 905 or better.
Mm-hmm.
And what did Stuart Skinner do last year? Almost better than any goalie in the NHL. He was consistently 900, 905 or better.
Yeah.
That's solid. So I give Skinner a B+ for his regular season. Am I on the ball with that?
B+.
That's a great picture. that is hardly even Stuart Skinner. Wow. B+.
Yeah, I'll give him a B+. I think the start of the season, like, one moment that stands out. Do you remember they were struggling so much, and then they played Winnipeg, and he let in a real stinker.
He turned it over behind the net.
Yeah, and like, I think there was a weak one on Scheifele or something like that too, and it's like, God damn it. And that could have, for me, could have actually been a turning point for that at that point in the year, but he turned it around, and I love Skinner, and I love how young he is. I love that he's kind of defied the odds, really, of like the situation he was in. He was not dealt a good hand numerous times. He was sent down after a shutout.
Yeah, his first
against San Jose. So yeah, B+. I think that's fair for the way Skinner was throughout the season.
Yep. The other thing too, actually, let's go to the playoff grade first. I really wanted to change it, but I just had a hard time going anything but B+. I think in the first round against LA, he was fine, had a couple of big games, one rough game. Against Vancouver, it obviously didn't go well. Pickard came in, had to save the day. But when you look at these numbers at the end of a playoff run, and you consider how good he was in so many massive games for this team, B+ is fair. He wasn't perfect, so he doesn't get to go into the A's, but I think B+, again, they don't make Game 7 of the Cup final without Stuart Skinner doing what he does.
No, totally.
They also don't make the Stanley Cup final or make the conference final without Calvin Pickard doing what he does.
I really think it was just that 3 games against Vancouver, he was bad. I would honestly give him a solid A for the playoffs.
You would go up to A.
Yeah, I think going through, and I'm trying to recall everything that happened. That first game against LA, they won 892. The second game was a stinker just by the team in general. I don't recall, and maybe someone can correct me, like anything egregious happened, but you still allowed 2 unreal games in LA, allowing 1 goal in 2. That's really good. The game 5, I think at 8:57 is a little skewed. The first goal took that weird bounce off the corner and bounced in the middle of the ice. And then the third goal they allowed was with a goalie pulled.
Yeah.
So really, it's kind of like a 1-goal game.
But I mean, with the goalie pulled, stop the puck, bro.
Well, it came through and it got tipped.
Yeah, it did. I know. I'm just saying.
Well, I think that's a little unfair. And then against Vancouver, he was terrible in 3 games. Bounced back really well and was strong from that point onwards. So maybe not A, maybe A-. But I don't fully disagree with your B+.
He was really, again, remember against Dallas, that one game they lost, and we were dissecting that 1 goal from the goal line over and over and over again. And then after that game, he goes 2 goals against, 1 against, 1 against, and they win the series against Florida. I mean, early on, he wasn't terrible against Florida, but in game 3, he gives up 4 goals on 23 shots. They're down 3-0. And what does he do after that? 970, 906, 952, 905. And he did enough. People are going to pick apart that last goal of the season.
It's just it's Sam Reinhart at the end of the day.
It's Sam Reinhart, 50-plus goal scorer. And Edmonton, if you want to win the Stanley Cup in a game 7, you got to score more than 2 goals.
Yeah.
Your offense is your bread and butter. Like that's I don't blame him at all for the game 7 loss. No. So 100% chance he's their starter in game 1 of the playoffs next year. No doubt about it.
No doubt about it. Do you know what? And they can't do it this year. But I think it was such a big mistake. And it didn't affect him that much. But for me, you got to show how important he was. They didn't start him game 1 of the season last year. They gave it Jack Campbell.
And how did that go?
It went terribly. And Skinner, they're not going to make that mistake again. But I was like, don't overthink him. He's a good goalie. He's going to make mistakes because he's not the best goalie. But also, he's consistently solid.
And he is 25.
Yeah, he's a young man.
Like, again, when they signed Jack Campbell, and whether they would have done Campbell, would have done Kemper, whichever goalie they would have landed on, it was a 5-year deal. It was supposed to be Campbell starts, peaceful transition of power begins, expensive backup, because Stuart Skinner would have been given time to mature into this role. We're heading into year 3. This is only supposed to be the first year of him even getting close to 40 games. Never mind the 50+ he's been playing the last 2 seasons. Yeah. He's so far ahead of schedule, and I feel like we're forgetting that a little bit. Like, goalies develop at weird rates. Stuart Skinner is going to be a top 10 goalie one day in the NHL. It's happening, and I think it's going to happen this year.
Do you know, I was thinking of something. So I listened to this podcast. It's called The Ripple Effect. It's a soccer podcast, believe it or not.
Footy.
Yes. And sometimes I try and think of things that would be like in Oilers' perspective too. Yeah. Like, imagine if the Oilers had signed Jacob Markstrom. This was the one I was thinking about today, because that is a big one, because he was very much like, he's in Edmonton, like he's coming to Edmonton, and all of a sudden it was like a flip of the switch. And like Markstrom's going into his last year, right?
Yeah.
So I wonder where like we would be at, quite frankly. Like with Skinner would probably just be the backup right now.
Yeah.
You know, you don't go through the era of Mike Smith and Mikko Koskinen.
Like, the best single season save percentage by any Oilers goalie. We put out that graphic because it's goalie week.
I'm not disrespecting Mike Smith by any means, but like, you don't sign Jack Campbell. Where does that money go instead? Like, it's kind of an interesting topic. Obviously, a huge what if, but yeah, I found that interesting today. I might actually go back and look.
Skinner's our starter now. Time for him to get his mind straight from Stealth Legends. I don't think there's been a point where he doesn't have his mind straight.
I think
Is Skinner going to top this list one day?
Well, let's take a peek. Can you go full screen on that?
Yep.
This is again, it's goalie week. So top 10 highest save percentages by an Oilers goalie in a single season. The fact that Dubnyk's up, I think it was minimum 25 games played on there. So Mike Smith, Evan Dubnyk, Cam Talbot, Mikko Koskinen, Cam Talbot again, Dubnyk again, Smith again, Roley, Dubnyk, Salo. Again, the era obviously affects this a little bit because, you know, when Grant Fuhr was one of the better goalies in the NHL, it was, you know, and whatever, it would be like an 895. I was like, hell yeah, this guy's unreal. So, yeah, I think we'll have a season where Skinner tops this list. I could see him having a year that's so good he's a 925. It's doable. He's trending that way, and he's big. Like, you need to be big in today's NHL. I still believe that as a goalie. Like, he has that presence about him. He's got that starting star power goalie aura.
He's got it.
Anthony Stolarz was a 925 last year. I know he only played 27 games, but Hellebuck was a 921. He won the Vezina. Maybe 925 is a bit much, but I think he can have a really good year. I think he can be right up near the top of that list.
I think he has the potential to be one of the upper echelon goalies in the league. I think 918 is kind of a good range for him to aim for as his peak.
Fair. What's the best season of the modern era? That's what I want to know. I think it's Tim Thomas. Yeah. So the two best save percentages since the year 2010, Tim Thomas had a 938 in 2010, 2011, and Ullmark matched that in 22-23.
Ullmark, that's what I was thinking.
I'm doing it.
Still, I'm on the train that Tim Thomas should be in the Hall of Fame. I can't believe it's not a conversation.
No, it's longevity, though. Peak over longevity. You could go back all the way to 2000, and those two still stand. The best 5 seasons since the year 2000 are Thomas, Ullmark, Shesterkin in 21-22, Ben Bishop in 18-19, Carey Price when he won, I think he won the Hart Trophy that year in 14-15 with a 933, Dwayne Rolson in 03-04 with the Wild had a 933 as well. And then Tim Thomas again. Interesting looking at goalies. It is goalie week, which is a good reminder that there is no position that is cooler in all of sports than starting goalie. The mask, the pads, all of that. No other sport lets a position do stuff like that. Can you imagine if Patty Mahomes was standing under center with like a painted sort of mask?
That'd be so sick.
That actually would be cool as hell. We might be onto something there.
Did you watch that clip I sent you yesterday of Swayman?
I did. I thought it was interesting.
I've never thought of it like that. So I can't even remember who put it out. So sorry.
Some podcast.
Just type in Jeremy Swayman. It'll come up. And
Bleacher Report, open ice.
There you go. He was talking about how he's one thing comment that stood out the most was how he's not trying to screw other goalies over with his negotiations, which is very interesting.
He doesn't want to take a discount and then every goalie gets compared to him going forward and every goalie's taking a discount. It's doing right by the PA.
Yeah.
And it's something that I'm sure, a guy like Connor McDavid will face that pressure. Leon Draisaitl's facing that pressure, for being totally honest.
Totally.
If Draisaitl were to say, I don't need the money that bad, I'm taking 12. I want to win. He would have peers being like, what the hell, man? The PA would be like, what the hell are you doing? No, because now you're hurting future earnings. You're shifting the market. When McDavid signs, I'm sure Connor McDavid, listen, does $12 million a year or $15 million a year make a difference for Connor McDavid? No, but what it's going to do is set up everyone below him, right? And that's kind of what Swayman was getting at.
Yeah. So it was a very interesting one. I think I retweeted it. Go check out my Twitter and get me more followers than JD.
The one thing that does kind of make me roll my eyes a little bit when you're at that Swayman level is he was like, listen, like this is about my family too. Like I got to do right by my family. And I was like, well, whether you make 8 or 9.5, your family's good. You're making a shitload of money, bro. But yeah.
Someone put a question in, which I'm trying to find. I know we've wrapped, but who has developed the most goalies into the NHL? I will find that for you. Let you know.
Jack says, John Gibson going to wallow in Anaheim forever? Well, he kind of stinks and he's really overrated and overpaid. So yeah, probably. He's one of those guys who's like somehow survived off the power of his name for the last 5 years.
Yeah.
Despite never actually being that good over the last 5 years. Like it's weird.
Totally.
He was good in 2017. Then what?
Yeah, he had a couple of good seasons. But do you remember our pal Mike McKenna would always be like, this guy's so overrated.
And I trust Mike McKenna.
Yep, I have no choice.
I know. Again, you're all asking in the chat, what's going on in Guardians Royals? It's 5-2 Royals, bottom of the 6th. But the Royals are already on their 3rd pitcher of the game. So their bullpen's a little bit depleted already. I don't know who's all available. Maybe we'll get to a point here.
Wait, the Royals bullpen?
Sorry, Guardians bullpen. And the Royals bat first. So, again, you got to get to that 9th inning no matter what. So, there's still 3 more innings for them to get through. Lance, no one asked that. No, a bunch of people were. Everyone was asking it.
I've been seeing it.
Yeah, constantly. Everyone wants to know what's going on because we want to see if our boy Eric's going to pitch. Oh, my God, it's 1 o'clock already.
Yeah.
Oh, we're done. We didn't do the other sports report. Quickly.
We've been doing it throughout the show.
I know. Bet365. Sign up today. Download the app. Get in on a huge range of markets and use that promo code at the bottom of your screen. Oily bonus. Whatever the sport, whatever the moment. It's never ordinary at Bet365. College football gets going on Saturday. Are you a college football guy?
Every year I try to be.
Every year I want to be, and I can't.
Yeah, I like to do other things on Saturdays because I know my Sundays are full.
I know. I commit every
Yeah.
Sunday to doing nothing but watching NFL football. And I
Yeah.
feel like if I get too into
You
college,
can't do it 2 days in a row.
it's tough, especially like I know some of those, like Aaron and I listen to Pardon My Take, like football's those guys' job, right? So yeah, like if I had to watch hockey every Saturday and Sunday, like I'd do it because it's my job. I don't think I can commit to watching that much football in a week.
I do like I don't bet on it, but I do like watching kind of the main game.
Yeah.
Like if I know Alabama, like I remember Alabama when
Clemson,
they
Georgia,
were
10 a.m.
Is-
Saturday.
That'll be
I
good.
like watching the late big game.
I think it's LSU USC is like
yeah.
I think that's Sunday.
Sunday.
That
Okay.
And
fantasy draft.
I took the advice that that Big Cat had of betting on that USC quarterback to win the Heisman.
Matt something.
$25 into 1,000 on Bet365. And Big Cat's logic was that is all eyes are going to be on USC LSU. And if he balls out as the USC quarterback, his odds will get cut in half overnight.
And Lincoln Riley has had Kyler, Baker Mayfield, Caleb Williams.
Yep.
They've all won the Heisman.
They've all won the Heisman. So it's a Heisman factory. So if you want to squad ride with anything, we could be USC fans this year. We could all bet on what's his name again?
I gotta find it.
Oh my God. Come on, Tyler.
We love football.
We love college football. It's a really cool name too. It's like
Matt
a catchy name.
something.
Mac something maybe. Come on, open up app. Love the Bet365 app.
Yeah, I'll try and watch that then.
Miller Moss.
Miller
What a
Moss.
sick name.
Miller Moss. There's the proof.
So are you just gonna try and cash out?
I think my plan is to ride it out for like 2 weeks, and if my cash out gets half decent, I'll take the cash out.
I think it's a great idea.
Let's do it.
Okay.
Squad ride. Squad ride.
Squad ride him in.
Let's do it. Miller Moss to win the Heisman. That's going to be our college football thing we're tracking.
He
Miller
plays for
Moss,
USC or
Yeah.
LSU?
USC.
Gotcha.
And I'll start wearing my USC shirt to shows.
So who's the best team
Did we
this
just
year?
become a USC school?
I think I'm a USC fan.
Southern California?
What do they call it? The rankings, right?
Promo code Oily Bonus if you
Eight-
want to get in on it at Bet365. We can
AP
all
top
ride.
25.
Let's all ride Miller Moss to win the Heisman this year.
Florida already lost a game. Florida State.
Yeah.
Suckers. No
To Georgia
USC.
Tech
What that really?
on a field goal at the end of the
Well,
game.
that'll lower them
Because
in
they
the
do week
rankings.
0, which makes no sense to me, but
Is
whatever.
it like an exhibition?
no, because it counts. That was week 0.
That
Weird.
is ridiculous.
All right. Shout out to our friends at Bet365. Shout out to JD Young for hopping on the show,
Mhm.
giving us some Sharks insight. Shout out to all you guys. We'll be back Friday. Remember, Oilers Nation Open is this Friday. Can't wait to see you all there. We're going to have a lot of fun. I'm going to have a handful of drinks. It's going to be great. Me and my guy Ryan and Pat Puff and Charles, we're going to be shooting like 15 under this year. I think I can feel it in my bones. And we're going live bright and early, 7:30 in the morning. Get your coffee, maybe put a little Bailey's in that coffee, and tune in to Oilers Nation every day, special Friday edition of the show. Then we're off Monday, and then we are coming back next Wednesday with regularly scheduled programming. Oh, there's one other thing I want to talk about with the chat. Then we'll wrap. I'm sorry.
All right, I got nothing else.
I'm doing a guys golf trip this weekend
Okay.
with 3 of my buddies. So there's 4 of us. If you have, what are some ways we could play for money as a foursome? What are some fun golf games that maybe you've done with your friends? Shoot me a DM on Twitter or Instagram, or just tweet it at me and be like, hey, this is fun. Me and my friends did it. We're trying to think of some ways to really spice up the rounds a little bit. So if you got some ideas, hit me up on that. And that is all.
All right.
Good?
I'm chilling.
Good.
Great.
Good. Enjoy your Wednesday, everybody. Enjoy the Oilers Nation Open. Hope to see you there at Millwoods Golf Course on Friday. That's a wrap. Oil up.
Thank you for watching Oilers Nation Every Day. Hit the subscribe button to never miss a show. And for more, visit OilersNation.com.